How you doing, YouTube? Matt, Mess of Beer Reviews, back with yet another review. A little bit of beer tree time in the form of their double pineapple creamsicle New England style IPA. Yeah, it's 8.8% alcohol by volume. I believe this is like a core 4 beer. I mean, more times than not, when you actually see a creamsicle kind of thrown down in a beer, you assume there's lactose in here. But I'm 99% sure this is a non-lactose kind of milkshakey-ish kind of beer. You figured I'd do research beforehand, but you know me, I don't do that shit. But I think I remember Kyle from No Hype Beer Reviews. Go check him out, super awesome dude. He's done this a couple times. I think he sent somebody's off maybe to Joe from Joe's Arcade or something like that. But anyway, talking about how this is kind of like one of those milkshake IPAs that actually is kind of vegan friendly. Anyway, this is kind of the beer that I kind of know them about. They were relatively close to where I used to live when I lived in PA. I've had quite a few of their beers, but they came out with this pineapple creamsicle beer pretty much right around when I moved away from there, which is a bit over a year ago. And they've been kind of tweaking it and cultivating it ever since. But I was lucky enough they sent off a couple of beers, and this is in there, so I've been kind of excited to dive into this. So let's do that. I think I covered everything. 8.8%. It doesn't say anything about lactose on here. It's only 2 weeks old. Let's just dive into it, see what she's got. So you're talking about creamsicle. You're talking about pineapple. So you're talking about big citrus notes, probably an added citric? Is that a word? Kind of component to it on top of the base hops. And a nice rich creaminess to it. I mean, she looks the part of a new school hazy, but she also looks the part of a hazy that has like a extra kind of fluffy creaminess to it. There's like a vibrance to it, a little bit of that cataracty edges I talk about every now and then. So I assume there's a big kind of oat addition. Maybe there's vanilla floating in here. That's kind of giving you that whole kind of creamsicle portion of the show, or just a heavy oat addition. The one thing I did notice from the beers that I've had from them is a couple of them, it actually didn't call out lactose on it, and actually called it out on the edges of the beer here on the label. And I was like, going through the reviews that I did, I'll probably post the bulk of these at the same time, so you'll see me in real time actually do that. I would be like, oh shit, there's lactose in here. It says it over here, so it wasn't actually on the front of the label. Lesson learned. Before I cracked in this, I actually looked around. I don't see anything on here as far as calling out anything on here. So I don't know if they're just not putting that they put pineapple in it. I don't know if they're not putting that they put vanilla or lactose in it. But as far as I'm concerned, we're going to go into it like it's a core 4 beer. But yeah, she looks the part of a hazy. Let's see if we can get a nose on her. Yeah, I mean, she has bright citrus notes. A bit more grapefruity. There is a rich vanilla character to it, though, kind of underneath all that kind of hot matter. So if there's not vanilla in here, that's really, really weird. They could be using that, like I said, in place of lactose. So you definitely get that kind of grapefruit citrus thing. You get a little bit of that soft pineapple, and then there's a little bit of kind of like a graininess in there. It's not necessarily like a cereal grain, but there's a nice kind of sweet kind of graininess to it, generic if you will, and then a little bit of soft vanilla. So she definitely has citrus vibes. Is it pineapple? Is it creamsicle? Sure. I mean, that vanilla kind of brings it to that level. It's not heavy-handed either. So you get that nice kind of citrus with that kind of nice kind of pineapple and a soft kind of malt graininess that's not over the top. There's no kind of rich, savory kind of sweetness to it. And then, yeah, the vanilla just kind of brings it up to that level. So quite nice. Let's dive in. Cheers. Yeah. There's vanilla in this. So they didn't put it on a label, but there is. If there's not, then there's magic in here. It's a big bittering. Big dryness on this. So there's a big bittering component. Really nice, lustrous mouthfeel. Creamy, fluffy. Where I like my kind of double IPAs sit. So you get that bittering component. It's relatively generic, leaning slightly green. Nice, big, rich vanilla in there. It doesn't get over the top, but it's a prominent part of the show, which is quite nice, especially being that it's a creamsicle beer. You have no problem with that. Very dry. I mean, it's sweet, but at the same time, it's dry, so it's quite nice. The juxtaposition between both the dryness and the sweetness is great. Again, like I said, the mouthfeel is fantastic. And it's fruity. It's citrus-leaning, fruity, grapefruit, pineapple leaning. Is it overt kind of grapefruity? I wouldn't say it's overt grapefruit or pineapple, but at the same time, it gets me there enough in the base citrus fruits. It kind of gets me there enough to kind of be like, okay, the label's reading proper to a T, I guess you would say. I like this. This is a really nice, well done beer. Not just that, but it tastes exactly like what the label depicts. I mean, you talk about a double pineapple creamsicle. I'm tasting a double IPA that tastes like citrus fruits leaning towards pineapple, and it has creamsicle vibes. I know that sounds a little bit on the nose, but you'd be surprised how many breweries fuck it up. How many breweries call out specific things on their labels and don't get there? Well, this got there. And the fact that I'm 99% sure that this is vegan friendly is fucking awesome, because I think this is like one of the beers that like a vegan person can actually chug on and get that kind of milkshake experience without actually dealing with the milk sugar and all that stuff, which is pretty cool. And the other thing, and like I said, I will post this along with the other reviews that I've done from Beer Tree at the same time. This is the third one, I believe, I'm opening from Beer Tree. Third or fourth one. And almost all of them, I believe all of them, it was an IPA and a sour IPA. I believe the other ones I did. Maybe there was one before that. All of them really did kind of show a soft, kind of diacetyl, soft DMS kind of thing. A little bit of cream corn, a little bit of fucking butter floating around in there. Zero of that in here. Zero of that going on. So that's quite nice. Not that the other ones were like crazy over the top, just like spoiled like DMS bombs, canned corn that you have to throw out. I even talked about those off flavors in the reviews being like they're there in the nose, and even though they gently follow in the taste, they're not something that really kind of, you know, ruins the beer all that much. There's none of that in here. There's none of that off flavor in here, which is quite nice. It's actually fun to see. I think I'm done. I think that's it. I mean, really, and it's weird because, in the grand scheme of things, a lot of times I like to talk. No shit, Sherlock. But I like to talk for, like, because I don't want to say I'm confused, but I'm trying to pick apart a beer. And more times than not, when I talk more, it's an indicator of me really trying to figure a beer out. This beer doesn't need to be figured out. And I think it's a fucking good thing. I think it's a great thing, because it is literally what's on the label. I'm going to rehash everything I just said. It is a pineapple creamsicle beer. Some people might not dig those things. Some people get fucking their panties in a bunch because they want just clean, well-made lager, or they want whatever. You know, people just get high and mighty in their horses, and they think it's cool to kind of bash on these new school weirdo beers. I love me lager. Lager is life. It's what I drink all the time, but I can get down with a lot of these beers. And this one does it well, and also tastes exactly like what the label says, and that in of itself makes me really fucking happy. Anyway, let's cut to the chase. Is it one of the better milkshake? I'm going to call it a milkshake IPA, because I think that's where this one lands. One of the better milkshake IPAs that I've had is like, yeah. It's maybe not like King Shit a Fuck Mountain milkshake. It's not like Blazed Orange from fucking like Hot Butcher level shit for me, but it's getting up there. It's pretty damn close. It's not eking in. It's definitely absolutely 100% worthy of the conversation. Bag and availability, they sent them to me, so that's fun. But I assume Beer Tree just basically rolls like everybody else does, which is anywhere from 14 to 22 bucks a 4-pack, depending on how much shit they throw on the label. Not necessarily in the beer, but on the label. And leave you with, if you like what we like this beer, if you like kind of that creamsicle vibe. You know the Ices, what the fuck, Rita's? Not Rita's. God, dude. So Rita's Italian Ice is the ice stand that opens on the first day of spring. I'm talking about the cups, the ones that you would buy, the one that you remember when Kramer in Seinfeld, like Bette Midler wanted like a frozen icy kind of icy cup thing, and she wanted tutti frutti or something like that, or she wanted something. She wanted pineapple, actually, I think. And Kramer tried to find it, but he couldn't find the pineapple one. That's what this reminds me of. It's like one of those kind of like soft, kind of icy ice cream kind of things. And that's a good thing. So if you dig those, if you dig New School Hazies, if you like milkshake IPAs, but you are lactose intolerant, so they fuck your shit up. And if you like fun beers from breweries trying to do good, then this is worth checking out. There you go. Another review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Down there if you want to talk about it. Massive Beers, if you want to check me out doing the social media stuff. Beer Massive. If you want to check me out doing the whole podcasting thing. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully enjoying a nice little creamsicle beer right now, and hope to see you next time. Cheers.